So, like many of you, I grew up in Savannah and I graduated from Poly High School in 2011. This is just a picture of me and my parents at my graduation. So, after I graduated high school, I went on to attend the University of California in Santa Barbara. I attended here for about 3 years. Um, One of my first concerns was how was I going to pay for this? So, because like many of you, I'm from a low income community, the government did pay off most of it. However, there was a few thousand that I did have to pay out of pocket. My parents did help me with some of that, but a lot of that I was also able to get scholarships and grants. And because most of my financial aid covered my tuition, most of the money that came from grants and from scholarships, that was for me to use kind of how as I please. So kind of use for books, use for going out and so forth. Um, so this is the campus. UCSB is located right on the beach. This is below. You can see the Student University Center. This is the main plaza, and this is where the dorms are located right next to the beach. And I lived here for about 2 years. So now we're just going to go ahead and take you on a quick tour of UCSB. So after I graduated Santa Barbara with my bachelor's in biology, I went on to go ahead and teach at a charter school called Nueva Esperanza, which was in San Fernando. So at Nueva Esperanza, I taught 8th grade science, which was mostly chemistry and a little bit of physics in it as well. Because I was in a couple educational programs, I was able to take advantage of traveling opportunities that they gave me. One of the opportunities they gave me, and most of these opportunities were all paid for, one of those was Teach for the Philippines. So Teach for the Philippines is a program that sends you out to the Philippines, and you're able to kind of look at their educational system and take away certain pieces, what's good about it and what's bad about it. We'll get into that in a bit. Before Philippines, I was able to go ahead and travel Thailand, just kind of evaluate how the ecosystems are there, and also just have a little bit of fun. So this is us just traveling. First went through kind of trip of a couple islands. Then we went to visit some elephants. That's just me riding an elephant. And then we went to a couple of wildlife sanctuaries in which they had tigers. And that's just a picture of a monkey, not the person in the blue shirt, but the one with the money. Then I went to a couple temples. They have a lot of Buddhist temples in Thailand, so that was a really nice sight to see. This is just me at another temple called the Lain Buddha Temple. So this is kind of transitioning into when we went to the Philippines. This is the Philippines. Very different. Classes were much smaller, very enclosed. This is the structure of the buildings that I taught in. If you notice, most of it is kind of wide open. They don't really have any actual windows. It's just kind of a metal frame. So when it starts pouring and raining, all that rain kind of goes into the classroom. So that's a big issue that they're facing over there. I taught a PE class. So that's just me kind of going over some basketball drills. It's the last day before we left. That was just a trip of an island we also visited. So I attended Loyola Marymount for about 2 years. That's where I got my teaching credential. And then I went on to go ahead and get my master's in education. While at Loyola Marymount, I also got a couple, again, free opportunities because I was still pursuing education. I got this opportunity to travel. I was able to travel with an organization called Organization for Tropical Studies, in which we essentially went out to Costa Rica and we did our own research on different types of ecosystems and wildlife. So just a couple of pictures from the trip. This is a type of tree which needs to kind of have a lot of roots because it puts its roots throughout the surface to get nutrients from the surface. Again, there's very different structures, and they all have purposes behind them. So just a picture of snake we saw, another snake here. Again, there was just kind of a vast wildlife, a lot of biodiversity out there. Just a few creatures that we found out there. It's just a picture of me as a flower. And we'll kind of transition to a couple other things. So just a couple other things are also important to me. So family is important, and I'll go over a couple of things that I enjoy doing. So this is just me at my sister's wedding. I've always enjoyed playing basketball, so that's kind of why I have this UC Santa Barbara gym picture. This is a picture of my dog. I actually kind of don't like him, but I just threw a picture in there because why not? This is a picture of hiking because hiking is also something I really enjoy doing. That's not me, it's just some random guy, but I just wanted to put that picture in. And this is a couple of places that I've gone to. So something I enjoy doing.
Yonder.